registrar for all births, marriages and deaths. They had a curious nickname in our civil service. They were known as the Hatcham, Matcham and Dispatcham Department. When they eventually moved out, their inland revenue moved in, so it became the Catcham Department instead. Off to our right, we've got a large concrete building. That is the National Theatre. It was voted the ugliest building in London for over 10 years. That was until somebody finally built an uglier building downriver in Woolwich, which is actually a Tesco. This area on our right is the South Bank Centre. They have over 5,000 performances throughout the year, and they have some excellent street food markets as well. On our left we've got a large white ship with the yellow funnel. That's HQS Wellington. She escorted merchant ships during the Second World War. In 1948 she was moved to Victoria Embankment to become the livery hall for the Honourable Company of Master Mariners. She's basically a drinking club for retired sea captains. Behind the Wellington is a stone archway and two silver dragons. That's Temple Stairs Arch, the western boundary for the City of London we've just entered, and the City of Westminster we've just left. Now, the City of London is one of the smallest capital cities in the world. It's only 1 square mile. You'll find silver dragons guarding every major entrance to the City of London. They have been placed there to protect it from all evil. But I'm not too sure. It's locally known as the Oxo Tower. That building was a cold store for the Oxo Company. When they had it designed, it was illegal to advertise along the River Thames unless your company worked with boats. Because Oxo makes stock cubes, they have nothing to do with boats. They were taken to court. They argued it was merely a coincidence that the windows up on their tower spelt their company name, Oxo. Now, surprisingly, the judge agreed with them. They have had over 90 years of free advertising ever since. I think they got away with a technicality, something about gravy boats. On our left is a building with a sloped roof and black spinnaret. That's the old City of London School for Boys. It's where they educated many of our former MPs and Prime Ministers. Now, despite that, they do say that it was a good school. And Winston Churchill spent 2 weeks over there before he was expelled for fighting. We're about to pass through the Blackfriars group of bridges. The first bridge is Blackfriars Road Bridge. It was built at the request of Queen Victoria to commemorate a Dominican monastery that stood over on the left. The monks of that monastery wore black habits, which is where we get the name Blackfriars. The red columns ahead of us are all the remains of the old London to Chatham and Dover Railway. That was taken down, but the red columns remain, because if they took them away, it would undermine the foundations of the other two bridges. Now, this next bridge is Blackfriars Railway Bridge, built by John Wolfe Barry and Henry Mark Brunel, the son of Isambard Kingdom Brunel. The Blackfriars station actually sits on top of this bridge, and it has the largest solar powered roof in Europe. So on a sunny day like today, it can provide up to 80% of the station's electricity. Off to the left of the boat is the magnificent dome of St Paul's Cathedral. St Paul's was designed by Sir Christopher Wren. It stands 365 feet high. It's the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in the world. The largest is on St Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. Now, Christopher Wren himself is buried in the tomb at St Paul's alongside the Iron Duke, the Duke of Wellington, and Admiral Lord Nelson. Above Wren's tomb there is a Latin inscription that roughly translates to, "If you seek his monuments, look about you." That refers to over 120 of Wren's buildings, churches and landmarks, from Hampton Court Palace, 21 miles behind us, to the old Royal Naval College at Greenwich. On our right hand side we've got the old Bankside Power Station. That was designed by Giles Gilbert Scott. It closed due to the escalating price of oil. It's now home to the Tate Modern, the largest collection of modern art in the world. We're just passing through the Millennium Bridge, locally known as the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. That's because it was opened by our late Queen in the Millennium year, then it was closed by the police the following day because it wobbled quite violently. They had to close that bridge for 2 years. They spent millions of pounds de-wobblising it just to make it safe. On our right, we're passing a white building with timber frames and a thatched roof. That's a replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. It was the idea of Sam Wanamaker, an American film producer and director. You can see Shakespearean plays performed there in period dress and costume from only £5. That's excellent value for live entertainment here in London. Ahead of us on the left is a building with 4 round columns. This is Vintners Place. The Honourable Company of Vintners